I will now invite Luis to tell us about, and his team to introduce themselves. But I'm Ignatius Jean, the Executive Director at the Caribbean Water and Sewage Association. And this is CAWASA Wednesday webinar, number 5 of 2021. Over to you.
Thank you, Ignatius. Hi, everyone. I think that we've seen one of the opportunities in the CWWA or CAWASA Congress and events. You see a couple of, a list of names. I recognize a couple of them. So hi from France, and hope that we're gonna see each other in not so far time when all this crazy particular period is gonna be over. From our team, we expect that for all CAWASA family, this period of COVID is solving or passing smoothly, and there are no grave issues in the professional or family teams, family members. So I'm Luis, as Ignatius said. I'm the regional manager for the Pacific, South America, and Caribbean areas, which is quite a big area, but we're focusing in certain territories, especially in the Caribbean. And with me in this webinar, Patrick Suhr, who's the technical manager of our business line, and Cyrille Plessis, who's the after sales manager for our business line as well. That is one of the topics that we discussed, Ignatius, so is the reason why Cyrille is this evening with us. Guys. Patrick, Cyrille.
Yeah.
Hello. So hello to everybody. Patrick here speaking. So I'm an employee of Suez for 25 years, so I have a good experience in water treatment, and now I'm dedicated to these package plans you are going to discover in our presentation tonight.
Me, I am Cyrille Plessis. I work for Degrement since 18 years. I was a site engineer, commissioning engineer, and in charge of erection of the water treatment plant for Suez all around the world. And I joined UCD department since 1 year and a half. And I am in charge of all the after sales service for the UCD department and for the supply and assistance, technical assistance for the refurbishment of for our plant for potable or wastewater plant.
Great. So Ignatius, we start?
Yeah, it's over to you now. Thank you, gentlemen. Please.
Thank you. So I'm gonna share my screen. Please confirm that everybody can see it. Is it good?
Yeah, we got you.
Great. So it's a presentation with 88 slides. We won't get through all of them. There is only 30 slides that we're gonna comment. We're gonna begin with a first block about Suez on our knowledge in the water treatment sector. Then we're gonna get into the resilience infrastructure and share with you a Rex from the field, from the Pacific this time, an island, Fiji, which has been suffering cyclone events since 2012, and in December was hit by tropical cyclone Yasa. And you're gonna see it through a short video, this feedback and about the resilience on the water infrastructure that we've been deploying together with the national operator in this country. And we're gonna be able to discuss questions and comments and remarks from all of you at the end of the session, or even if you have some comments through the presentation, don't hesitate. So we won't get, I'm gonna just put it in presentation mode, so sorry. So I won't get too long through these. Our four main activities. So the first one is Degremont, where we're very well known worldwide. We engineer, design, and construct water infrastructure and waste infrastructure as well. Our second pillar is the management of resources, water and waste. So we are operators, as we can be contractors for water infrastructure. Then is the third pillar is the smart solutions, which is mainly all with everything that has to do with digital technologies that have been shaping this sector for the last 15 years. And then we have the waste sector, especially in recycling and recovery to produce new materials and energy. So we're going to be discussing this evening our business line, which is Decentralized Solutions. That is a branch from the engineering and construction. Next, this timeline that shows first this branch, which is the Degremont, and became in 2015 with a unique name, Suez. All the branches of the group became Suez. And the Degremont is very well known. I think that many of us and many of the water professionals have learned many of the processes through the mementos, through Degremont's memento, very well known worldwide as well. And through this timeline is just one of the main milestones in terms of water treatment references since the creation of the company up to now. I would say that mainly capitals all around the world have a water treatment plant from Degremont in one of the early beginnings in the 40s, 50s, up to the 90s. And then we're right now in a different way, which is how can we get quality water and services to the rural and peri-urban areas. That's the difficult part of our sector. From this treatment line, what we've been doing in this service for the last 25 years is taking those treatment lines and put them into modular systems that allowed cities and municipalities to deliver essential services, not only in terms of quantity, but in quality as well, delivering water quality and wastewater treatment 24/7. We have 5 different water treatment technologies. I won't get through all of them. The first that we have most deployed is laminar clarification, and it's the one that we are going to discuss a little bit later. Then we have 3 wastewater technologies that we see on the center. As well, it's not the topic of this webinar. And then we have small technologies that are an hybrid from the drinking water technologies, much more compact and much more simpler to deploy. So we're going to be concentrated in the first one, as I said, the laminar clarification, that are many of the technologies that you have deployed in your territories. Many of you have operate flocculation, coagulation, settling, and filtration. So is the reason why we're going to discuss this one. Then we have DAV, which is separation, but this time by flotation. And instead of settling, we're going to have a flotation stage, and then we're going to filtrate. But once again, it's not the topic of this webinar. And then we have pulsation and underground water treatment lines that we could discuss at the end of the webinar if you would like to. as I was saying, the main complex is, as operators, is we collect raw water, we treat it, and then we distribute it to our clients. But what about those communities that are out of reach of the network? So our model is to think in the easiest, most competitive way to install that capacity to a decentralized solution. We're taking conventional treatment lines to the reach of those populations with networks that can be between 15 to 50 or 60 kilometers. So we're talking about mini grids to allow these populations to have access to water and wastewater services. In terms of references, I was saying, we have more than 240 references around the world. In capacity install, we produce all our references more than 1,300,000 cubic meters per day. And we have applications, as I was saying, in municipal and industry sectors. In the Caribbean, we're very present in the Caribbean historically. I won't get through all of them, but one of the main points is to point out that we understand your work, because we're operators as well as we can be operators, for example, in Colombia, in two cities like Cartagena, which is a city of 1 million inhabitants. We've been present since '95, and we've improved the key performance indicators, as you can see on the slide. And there is another city in the 2012 that we've been working with since in the west part of Colombia, improving as well the key indicators of the service. And then we have other operators like Martinique, Guadeloupe, and French Guiana, because of obvious reasons. Let's say that because of French origins, is reachable market for our company. And then we have other references all around the world. Right now, we're very active in Panama with important infrastructure contracts. And the rest that you can see where you see UCDs are a decentralized infrastructure that we've been deploying in the last 10, 15 years. And some the references in desalination. This is not an extensive map, but you can see that we covered almost all the geographies in the Caribbean. And then in the Pacific is a much more bigger area in terms of insularity, let's say, from Papua New Guinea up to French Polynesia, so taking into account our activities in Australia and New Zealand. We're very present, so in New Caledonia, we're operators as well as in French Polynesia. Our operators use our technology. So you can see in New Caledonia, we have different references for industrial clients, for example, which is cordon nickel and other ones. In French Polynesia are much more municipal references. And then in Fiji, which is a quite successful story for the national operator and us, where we've been deploying more than 80 MLD in the last 5 years in 11 different sites that you can see on the right, and we're still on, having projects ongoing. So what I'm going to share right now, we're going to begin with this water treatment resilient infrastructure. It's a short video. If you have any issue with the sound, just let me know. Just gonna put it here.
compared to the new one. This one bring peace to us. Yeah, bring peace.
Being the strongest, we've seen that the infrastructure, especially the portal frame housing and the treatment plant itself, withstands the Category 5 tropical cyclone. To produce drinking water which is in compliance with the Fiji National Drinking Water Quality Standards for both of the package plants, Giumba and Nama.
So just, I'm gonna shift again to the presentation. So so that's the introduction part for Patrick, who's gonna stress how our solutions are make more resilient and robust our operations. Two last ideas before Patrick's part is we're aware of the importance to ensure that quality, whatever happens during summertime, during storms, during tropical cyclones, and it seemed to us important to share that, to share these results and these feedbacks with the Caribbean and Pacific communities. And the second one is that WAF government was really happy that the regions that are deserved and catered by our infrastructure, they didn't have to take care of that, because they actually, those clients or population didn't feel any change at the tap water, which wasn't the case in other regions. So one problem less when we are in critical situations like this one for the government and urgent, emergency structures. So Patrick, the ground is yours.
Thank you, Luis. So we're going through some slides where I'm going to present you on which basis we are doing water treatment on our package plants. So the treatment is a conventional and a robust conventional treatment, which is based on coagulation and then flocculation in a tank with mixer, and there is a pH corrector. Luis, we have, yes. So once we have the right flocculation for the suspended solid, we are able to carry it into a lamellar settling tank. After that, it's possible to readjust the pH before going through sand filters in order to get a very low turbidity for treated water before water is being disaffected, before water supply to the population. Okay, next, Luis, if you can go. Yes, so here one important thing is reagent injection. In our standard, we are giving to our client all tools necessary to do this treatment and this reagent injection, which are prepared in tanks where some mixer make possible the preparation of a reagent solution. So once you get the solution, the reagent is injected at the right flow rate thanks to metering pumps. You can see on the picture. Okay, thanks to that, we can reach the international standard for water quality. So here, a small focus on the flocculation, which is taking place in tanks, as I told you, with mixers. So once coagulation and lime is added in order to get right flocculation, the right coagulation and the right flocculation, we have there a retention time, which is adapted to all types of water, and especially there is a good, very good results on water, tropical water we can find in your areas. So the retention time is in the range of 14 to 16 minutes. It's the addition of the volume V1, V2, and V3 you can see here. Then after flocculation, there are some sludge pits, and with some sludge extraction valves you can see at the bottom. And the water clarifying, which is clarifying, is going through the lamella you can see at the top. Okay, next, please. So here we again a small focus on some parts of our settling tanks. At the bottom, sludge extraction valve with a good diameter of 65 millimeters. So it's adapted to avoid any clogging. On the top right, you can see some lamella modules, which are with a high efficiency. And then some launders, which collect the treated water, well, the clarified water at the top of the settling tanks with good gathering with no excess velocities. Okay, so the figures you can see, thanks to the lamella settling, we can offer a very important settling area. You can, because of a ratio of about 20 between the surface of the settling tanks and the surface of settling as a projected surface. That means we have a footprint which is 20 times smaller than a clarifier without these settling modules. And thanks to that, we have a Hazen velocity of around 0.7 meter per hour. And that gives very good results for clarified water quality. Thank you. Next. Okay, so the final step of our treatment before disinfection is sand filtration, thanks to pressure sand filters. So you have in these filters you have a floor with nozzles, high density of nozzles, on which we put around 1 meter of sand height in order to do the final filtration. So in our standard, all filters are at least two, one filter beside the other. Why two? Because in order to be very as small as possible, our package plants use some filtered water from one filter to backwash the other one. And thanks to that, you can have a very small footprint and no need of wash water reservoir or no need of wash water dedicated pumps. So here you can see for our compact units, we can have up to 80 square meter of filtration floor, and the average filtration velocity we can offer is between 7 and 10 meters per hour. And this, with these figures, you get good, very good quality, and you can get less than 1 NTU easily on the treated water. At the bottom right, you can see some, in front of the filters, you can see all the pipes and the valves and the blowers, which are which make possible the backwash of the filters one after the other. Thank you. The next. Here we have a quick look at what is on the HMI. That means how to manage your package plant thanks to a touch screen. So you have the main parameters, and thanks to several screens, you can go to each treatment step and make sure that the parameter and the status of the plant is okay. And here you can get some information about filters clogging, about flow rates, about the status, if this equipment is running or if there is an alarm on a special parameter. You can also have all information about the analyzer, which can give you the at every moment you can have a look at what is the quality of inlet and outlet water. You can also choose to run as an automatic mode or to do some manual operating thanks to this touchscreen. Luis,
yeah,
add something?
Yeah, important to mention the dosing in function of the turbidity that we developed in the last 3-4 years, don't you think? The operations that we began in French Polynesia and now in Fiji.
Yeah, so we have developed several ways to maintain the quality of the treatment and adjusting the treatment and the dosing of reagent in reference with the quality of the raw water. And so in some areas, because the quality is changing very quickly due to rains, to heavy rains, we have developed some special automation, and thanks to analyzer and of course algorithm, which are able to adjust coagulation, the pH regulation, and different can also adjust the flow rate. So everything is focused on the in order to maintain the quality of the treatment, even if the raw water quality is varying a lot at the entrance.
Exactly. One of the nightmares when on operator side is when the water turbidity is just changing in a couple of hours. So it began when we were in the rainy season. We're passing from 20, 30 to 120, 200, 400 in a couple of 3 or 4 hours at 2 a.m. So that's very complicated to manage. And that's one of the things, this last block of innovation, we did it for the Pacific. So let you know that it's available right now for all our solutions. But it was deployed for our client in French Polynesia for the same reasons. 2 sites that are in the island of Moorea. and it's a solution that a site where they're having a lot of problems with this kind of raw water changes. So the turbidity is very complicated to manage. So just to let you know that that's the last block of innovation that we had.
Yeah, and it was possible because part of Suez is composed of operators, and we got the feedback of these operators in French Polynesia, and developed this special automation dedicated to.
Yep. So we moved to the project's implementation. So,
Yes.
Trick.
So here we are going to show you how our projects are implemented from the day when you got an order from our client, and when we have answer to a bidding of our client. So here we have the example of package plant we have built in a very short time of less than 1 year in Bamako, which is the capital of Mali. So here you can see the result of what was implemented in less than 1 year. The treatment plant, some storage tanks, and some pumps in order to feed the network. And also we had enough time to build the raw water pumping station you can see at the top of the picture. So it's a very, very fast technology. And how does it work? There is a study period which takes place at the beginning of the contract. During this study period, we are doing all necessary to manufacture the plant adapted to the client needs, and also we study the civil guide drawings we are able to give him, so the client is able to do the civil guide works during the manufacturing period, which you can see last about 4 months, thanks to a network of boilermakers which are located in Europe, some in France, some in Portugal, some in Greece. We are able, within 4 months, to build all the steel tanks, all the steel filters, and the pipings, which will be erected in a third phase. So before erection, there is transportation. All our tanks and filters are designed to be shipped by container. So you can see some pictures where the tank is well designed to fit inside the container. Once this container, after one month, for example, are shipped by sea freight to the final destination, they can be handled through crane, and because the concrete slab, which is a simple concrete slab with some gutters, has been built during the manufacturing. So it's possible to erect quickly these tanks on site, and to do the connection thanks to the piping we are giving with our plant. Okay, and then at the end, here at the month number 10, there was commissioning of the plant, and within 12 months, the client was able from nothing, was able to get drinking water for its population. Here you can see some pictures now of what is happening on site. So the client is doing the concrete civil work. So you can see the concrete slab with some gutters which are dedicated to the sludge collection and to the wash water collection, and also the drainage. What is also done is the electrical cables are distributed within this concrete slab, thanks to electrical sheath. Okay, next pictures. I think we can see some erection. Yes, so containers are transported to site, and the tanks and filters and pipings are extracted from these containers and put into place with some simple handling tools. Here you can see several steps of erection. So very few people are necessary. Here for piping, it's the work is done by here workers with some light handling tools, and so these pipes are all connected thanks to we supply flanges, the bolts, we supply the supports, so everything which is necessary to do the connection and to have a complete treatment plant. Okay. And so that's all. At the end, the client erect a roof, usually above the package plant, and that gives a very good condition for operators to operate our plants, and for our plants to last a very long time. That means decades, tens of years. And maybe a last detail, in order to resist to tropical conditions with high humidity, all our motors are designed for these tropical conditions, and are equipped with anti-condensation heaters and everything that is necessary to work in these severe conditions. Thanks to that, we have very good feedback and very few breakdown because it is protected from these severe conditions.
Good. Thanks, Patrick. So now moving to the training models. All our installations and solutions are delivered with their own customized O&M manuals. You can see some on the screen that provide how the water treatment plants are or need to be operated. Okay, and normally we bring at least some technical assistance remotely. It depends of the contractual form that it's been agreed. But just to let you know that we have all those documents complete with every solution. And then we developed as well a couple of years ago some training on demand, which have 4 modules. And the first one is the fundamentals of water treatment, because many operators sometimes doesn't have internal training. So we developed this for an operator who's actually an industrial, but has his own team operating the water treatment capacity. And he asked us to improve the operators and technicians' skills on the water treatment. So we prepared these models. The second one is the principle of water treatment, water chemistry, types of pumping, what we're seeing there, the water treatment line that just Patrick detailed. Then the fundamentals of water of operation and maintenance, different equipment, protection equipment, different types of risks, chemicals, electrical, mechanical, etc. And the last one, O&M of water treatment plants, different, preconizations for pumpings, processes, automation, alarms, and water analysis. So with that, I think that we covered everything. I'm just gonna close with another video. This one is a very short one. I think that is 3 minutes, and then we can have a session of open discussion with you guys. I see that in the chat we have already a couple of questions, so we're more than keen to discuss and reply to those questions and remarks. So just I'm gonna move into the closure video.
Today, 2.1 billion people still do not have access to safe drinking water, and the situation will worsen by 2030. There will be 8.5 billion people on Earth, and the consequences of global warming will multiply and lead to water stress, water shortages, and extreme natural events. Therefore, water is essential for sustainable and economic development. Without water and sanitation, people face nutrition, hygiene, and health issues. One of the United Nations goals is to ensure access to water and sanitation for all by 2030, while at the same time ensuring sustainable management of water resources. Suez contributes to achieving these goals. The group offers decentralized solutions such as UCDs, compact drinking water production plants, prefabricated in metal containers and equipped with the same technologies as a traditional plant made of concrete. These UCDs are intended for isolated populations, megalopolis neighborhoods that are experiencing rapid urban growth and in case of natural disasters. To cook, we can't use the water because it's cloudy and dirty. So we have to buy water to water sellers in order to cook. The assembly of a UCD plant is much faster than for a concrete plant. Indeed, it only takes a few days or a few weeks for larger units to complete the assembly. Very easy to deploy, this solution is installed on a concrete slab where a connection to the sewer is provided to evacuate decantation sludge and filter wash water. In the case of Medan in Indonesia, due to the exponential growth of the city and the number of consumers, the existing UCD unit has been expanded 3 times from an initial flow of 16 million litres per day to almost 75 million litres in a period of 15 years. The plant treats the water of the Belumai River and makes it drinkable to supply part of the 2 million inhabitants of Medan with water. In Mali, a 22 million litre per day unit has been installed to provide drinking water to the population of Bamako, while a larger plant is being built. It took 10 months before the UCD to become operational. The station will continue to operate in addition to the Kalabankaro plant, which was inaugurated in June 2019. It was difficult for us to get drinkable water. We had to wake up before dawn to get water from the well. We now have tap water and the water quality is constantly good. It's not contaminated and our life is getting much better. It's only the beginning and we are really, really happy. For example, in St. Lucia, the Dennery district has been equipped with a UCD station since 2017 and the authorities recently decided to install an additional unit to supply more people with water.
Our school has benefited from the rainwater. However, even during the dry season, the tanks would be empty. And there were times when we had to send students home because we had no water. From the time that plant was commissioned, we've not gone one day without water. There is full supply daily, and we are able to keep the students in.
Well, this water project is really a dream come true. To have this centralized facility, it really is beneficial in that the water is coming from one of the best sources in the country. Suez has demonstrated to be a wonderful partner, and I really like the way in which they honor their corporate social responsibility, where it's more than just providing technology to make money, but there seems to be a vested interest in what is happening and to ensure that people benefit in a very, very, very positive way from what they would have contributed, whether it's by way of the technology or equipment, to ensuring that the water supply is reliable, the standard is not compromised.
The operation is then managed locally. UCD stations can be automated or semi-automated. Suez teams train a volunteer technician between 1 and 4 weeks to ensure that the quality of drinking water meets European standards. These decentralized solutions facilitate access to drinking water for the population. Now, women and children who had to travel long distances to fetch water from the well will find it in their own neighborhood. A local water distribution system has been set up to bring back drinking water just a few minutes away from their homes or businesses for hydration and cooking. A way for Suez to be an actor in the United Nations Millennium Goals and to guarantee the right of access to water for all.
Global warming, urban population growth, scarcity of resources, and digital transformation. Suez is committed.
Luis, we don't hear you.
I think that I was saying that I think that you recognize maybe some of your colleagues, some personalities, acquaintances from St. Lucia for the last part of the video. So we reached the end. I'm putting the questions on the screen. I don't know, Ignatius, if you would like to moderate them.
Yeah, I can do that, sure. Yeah, we have had a few questions. So I think, let me get to the first one. It was, is there a maximum influentability to get the less than 1 NTU? If there is, what is the maximum influentability?
Patrick, do you want to reply that one?
Yeah, so usually we are rather speaking of suspended solid as a maximum for raw water, and this is 500 milligram per liter of suspended solid, which are acceptable at the entrance in order to maintain the water capacity. If there is more, it's maybe possible to reduce temporarily the flow rate in order for the compact unit to be able to handle this. But below 500 milligram per liter of suspended solid, it's okay to get the right quality.
And that answer from Patrick is what is written in our documents. I mean, it's a guarantee that we write down in our documents.
The next question is what chemicals are used in the treatment process?
So it's a simple chemical. So it's sulfate aluminum for as coagulant, and some lime for pH adjustment, and usually some calcium hypochlorite for disinfection. So these three reagents are prepared in the dedicated tanks, which are delivered with the compact units.
But we adapt as well to local, let's say, availabilities, like is in the case with Wasco in St. Lucia, like can be some availabilities in the Pacific with other operators, because the form of these regions are not widely available in all sites. So there are some operators that tell us we don't use these, but we have a polymer that it makes both a coagulant and polymer as well. They can ask us to use what is used locally, and then we're gonna adapt it to our chemical dosing component.
Those were the questions in the chat room, but I don't know if anyone has any questions they would want to ask now. I have a question about well, I noticed that, of course, you deliver the infrastructure, and and you said it has a life that could go for decades, as against the concrete systems. What sort of guarantees that you have, and particularly the sort of after-sale services to the utilities? Because typically you may have a supplier will give you equipment, and you can't find them again, they disappear.
A very good question, Ignatius, thank you. It's not our case. As I was saying, this is more than 150 years company, more than 82 years in the water industry, in the water infrastructure industry. So it's not our case. We have a lot of patents, internal patents, and it's something that I was saying. Let's differentiate between the construction model, which is carbon steel in our case, versus concrete. We are seeing, for example, a picture on the screen where concrete was unfortunately bad maintained. This is a feedback from Vietnam. And you can see on the other side a plant for more than 30 years. And this is the case, for example, for another client who in 95 bought and equipped its city with a 30 MLD capacity. That are the pictures that you see on the screen. And he came back in 2015 to double the capacity, okay? You can see the pictures, how it was operated and maintained. So that from the point of view, of construction, if the operation maintains the preconizations that are described in our manuals are followed, there is no problem. Then in the electromechanical equipment side, you're gonna have, if not the spare part, you're gonna have a solution from us. So it's the reason why Cyrille is with us this evening as well. He's managing that part, and the spare part or the after sales unit in our department. It's been running for since many years, and in the company. So just to let you know, for example, a local case, Ans Larrey in St. Lucia was built 10 years ago, and we've been approach by local teams saying we need to replace some equipment. So we need to make some expertise on how and how to do it in an optimized way. But you're going to have always somebody on the other side of the line, let's say, with this team of work. Okay.
Right. You also had I think you had some modules of some training modules. Is that part of the whole package, or would the client have to get those separately?
We can, everything that we've seen, okay, we can, you can, let's say, take it as a department store. So some clients, for example, that training, we did it 3 years after. We deliver a solution for this client, and he identified that he needed his staff to get better skills. So we did it for him. And since then, we've been offering, this training on demand for some clients. So it's not a problem. Another option, I mean, somebody in the audience that, for example, thinks that he would like to automate his dosing of chemicals in function of the turbidity, we can analyze that part and treat it. Somebody else that has, for example, a treatment plant, conventional treatment plant, and would like to improve its settling part, and would like to put lamellar settlers. We can analyze that and take that part. So all what we saw, that water treatment plant, we can, of course, deliver a brand new solution, or take it, by parts and boost some parts of existing plants or teams or projects.
We have a question here from Dewin Valley. He asks, are there upgrades to the equipment and or design to your units, and how do you make it aware to the operators or owners?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The best thing to do is to keep in touch. Unfortunately, we're not Apple, we're not Microsoft, so you don't receive it on your computer that it's already an update. So we need to keep in touch. That's the first thing. Here you have a team that we can make a point every year if you want. Write us an email. I would like to make a follow-up on my units. We can have a look. You would like to improve your electrical cabinet, your analyzers, your whatever part of your infrastructure is. Don't hesitate. You just drop us a line, give us a call, and we can have a video conference and look locally at your problem. Of course, this department has been improved, has a lot of innovation every year. Patrick is in charge of that as well. And I would say, Patrick, under your control, that we have 1 or 2 innovations every 18 months, more or less.
Yeah, that's it. We can say this.
So don't hesitate if you would like to improve one of, we had a client that wanted to put, for example, online analyzers, and he wanted to discuss with us how was the best way to do it. We had some technical discussions. He asked us for some budget. We gave some budget, but he finally did it with somebody else. It's all right. I mean, there's no a matter of that. The important thing is that when you buy, for example, a car from a dealer, it's not a reason that you keep discussing with the dealer. You go discuss with the brand, if it's a Toyota or if it's whatever brand is. So don't hesitate to come and discuss with us to keep your infrastructure reliable. If it's been made on concrete and made from somebody else, we can as well give you some optimizations or remarks on your water treatment lines.
We have another question, which was, just let me get back to it, sorry. It was for maintenance. From that one is from Hanif Morrison, who's asking, for maintenance purposes, how do we source the parts? Is it only through Suez, or can we get it elsewhere?
You can get it elsewhere. I mean, this industry has a full of range of suppliers, and you know there are many of them. I'm just going to share something while I'm talking, and you could, you know, take it from the industry. What's the advantage to pass with us? There are three main advantages. The first one is the technical assistance. We've built more than 1,200 drinking water treatment plants, conventional ones, on top of the decentralized solutions. On the side of wastewater treatment plants, if my mind doesn't fail, if I think there are more than 2,300 treatment plants. So we have a lot of know-how and to tell you what's going to work better for your water treatment, your existing water treatment line. The second point is we know some brands that are more reliable than others, and we work with, you know, a range of different brands. But through our service, we make people benefit from that knowledge at a very competitive, you know, rates. And the third one is that you're having, when you're having, for example, for maintenance purposes, you're buying, you make your shopping list and you're buying from different parts, and you're managing different logistics, different custom clearance, different, you know, all this administrative stuff. What it's very added value from us is that having just one window, okay, one contact, and you're gonna have all that at once. That your shopping list is getting quoted. If we move ahead, we're gonna be, you know, delivering you the equipment, and then we're gonna quickly pass it to you into the logistics, and you're just gonna have one delivery. So that's quite economy when you think about all of that, if you take it and you price it separately.
Okay, I don't see that we have any further questions in the chat room. I'd like to thank all our participants who have joined us. I think I saw some names from as far north as Jamaica. And as we go down the island chains of right through to Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you very much for joining us on our CAWASA Wednesday webinar series. And this is number 5 for 2021. We also would like to extend our thanks to Luis Peinado and his team at Suez, that is Patrick Suhr and Cyrille Plessis, for sharing the night with us, because I think it's late night now up in France, in Paris. So we really appreciated the opportunity to continue that relationship with Suez, which we established some years ago at CAWASA, and as well with the CWWA. And of course, COVID has had us going everything virtual. So we hope in the near future that we can get back physically, face to face. And likewise, that we can, we will be able to, of course, I think Mr. Sismol from Wasco, I think there's a few Wasco participants, and one of them who is managing the plant down at that you established at Tomaso in Dennery North. I think he's on the chat as well. So I think he would very be pleased to see that his some of his work was being shown off there.
Especially if there are any testimonials, you know, or comments to share, just, you know, don't be shy and share it with us. That's very fruitful for us. We take any, you know, testimonials or improvements very seriously. And the last part is, as I was saying, Cyrille is here with us. What you saw is very specific to our very water treatment line, but On the topic, there is another topic, Ignatius, that we discussed, but I just take advantage of these last minutes to say that he's keen as well to share his experience, because there are other issues like sometimes operators have on wastewater treatment plants, or some hydraulic accessories and these kind of things that are just operational issues that people have been thinking for a very long time. And it's he has some of very successful case studies on which, when you ask, for example, what about a siphon? What about an hydraulic regulation? There are no suppliers for these kind of things. What about how can I make improve this water treatment wastewater treatment process with another technology than the one that my supplier is telling me? So Cyrille is a very resourceful person. He has a lot of experience. He said it at the beginning as erection and commissioning engineer. He knows many water treatment lines and processes. So do not hesitate to get in contact with us through Ignatius, or just drop us an email. Would be a pleasure to hold a meeting and exchange that. Waiting for the next. I don't know if we're gonna be, that issue is gonna be the 8th, the 10th. We'll see.
But certainly we'll take you up on your offer and have you back with us at another point on our series of webinars, so that you can make another presentation on maybe wastewater issues or some of what you just discussed. So we'd like to thank you again very much, everyone. And I'm Ignatius Jean, the Executive Director at CAWASA, the Caribbean Water and Sewage Association. We are an association of water utilities in the Caribbean. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a good evening, everyone, and keep safe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep safe. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.